Gender-based violence is any form of violence that is rooted in rigid gender roles that reinforce the power imbalance between men and women. Every day, girls and women experience some form of gender-based violence, whether at home, school, work, in the street, or online. Anytime anyone does not conform to what's expected of their gender, they run the risk of being targets of violence. Gender-based violence is a global epidemic. It can be easier to think about it as something that happens somewhere else, in a country we don't live in a culture we don't belong to people we don't know. It's harder to think about it happening in the country that we do know, in the region that we do live in the city that we love, and to the people that we know. But we need to think about it. Gender-based violence is too widespread to be somebody else's problem. It is all of our problem. The Coalition Ending Gender-Based Violence is a nonprofit organization serving Seattle and King County. They rely on grants, state and federal funding, and donations to do their work. The coalition works in a variety of ways. They support legislative and policy actions that are meant to help and protect victims of gender-based violence. They advocate for legal support and protections for survivors, rapid rehousing for women escaping domestic violence and trafficking, facilitate trainings and provide supports to improve access to behavioral health care, and host workshops to help prevent gender-based violence from perpetuating into the future. They actively work to create safer, healthier communities. The people suffering due to gender-based violence don't choose to be victims. They don't choose to be hurt. It's a situation that can feel out of control and hopeless, but it does not have to be. Gender-based violence does not have to be suffered alone in silence. There are many ways you can choose to make a difference. You can choose to engage with the coalition directly, either as a donor, a member, or a workshop attendee. You can choose to share their organization on social media to friends, family, and colleagues. But there are other choices you can make. You can choose to pay attention to critical legislation that enhances protections against gender-based violence and which legislators are supporting it. You can choose what kind of podcasts you listen to, social media accounts you follow, memes you share, and jokes you tell. What feels harmless to you can actually be something that leads to harmful ideas that enable abuse. You can choose to listen to survivors and give them space to tell their own story without judgment or assumptions. You can choose to treat everyone as a human being first, regardless of their gender. No one chooses to be a victim, but it is a choice to pretend there isn't a problem. What will you choose to do?